I cannot believe that 2025 is almost over. Where did the time go? This video is not sponsored by any of the companies mentioned. Hi, Shanna Rowe Jackson here, also known as Caution Artist at Play, because I play with a ton of different art supplies on this channel, and this is my annual favorite art supplies of the year video. I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite art supplies of 2025. I have a good mix here, some watercolors, some pencils, some new releases, and of course some old favorites that I find myself reaching for time and time again. So let's hop into it and take a look at all those goodies. This is in no particular order, but of course I'm going to start off with Holbein, not just because I'm a brand ambassador, but I genuinely love these Holbein granulating watercolors. My Holbein watercolors are my go-to to begin with, but these granulating colors are just beautiful. They come in 4 different sets of 6 in different themes, or you can get the 24 set, or you can get them open stock. This is my palette that I set up. I'm a landscape girly, so I definitely go towards the landscape set the most. But I really do love the moon and the flower and the bird sets as well. Overall, I have had a fantastic time with these. I have been using them quite a bit lately, and I've been using them in conjunction with my other Holbein supplies, like my other watercolors and my watercolor pencils and colored pencils. But look at that fun granulation, just gorgeous. Number 2 is the Jane Davenport Large Watercolor Art Journal. I was drawn to this because of the white canvas cover because I wanted to customize it, so I painted it to look like this. I am a sky girl and I had a blast with this. I also have a protective cover over it and it has held up great. This took me like 3 years to complete, but I really did enjoy it, and I especially enjoyed the dual texture paper. So it alternated between each spread having either a hot press texture or a slight cold press texture, which was fantastic for mixed media. I was able to use any material I wanted on this: gouache, fine liners, alcohol markers, water-based markers, watercolors, crayons, colored pencils, you name it, I threw it at this, and it was great. The only downfall to this is the availability and the price. It is really, really expensive now. It was pricey when I bought it. It's kind of outrageous now, and it's only available on the Jane Davenport website. Number 3 is Natural Earth Paint Fluid Acrylics. Now, you have seen me use the Natural Earth Paint acrylics before, and basically these are the fluid version. These are an eco-friendly acrylic paint alternative. They are plant-based acrylics. So that's why they kind of changed the spelling of acrylics, because they're not technically an acrylic. I use this on the channel to customize my current sketchbook. It's a Handbook Journal Co. sketchbook. And I had a great time. I gessoed the cover first, and these worked great. You know I love a fluid acrylic because I like fine detail, and I was able to get any of the details that I needed on this sketchbook just fine. It has held up really well. I do have a protective cover, but the paint is holding up really, really well. And the thing that I love about this company is that it is a woman-owned company, and they started out trying to find healthy alternatives to the art supplies that we know and love so that it's safer for the people to use them, it's safer to dispose of, and just all around more eco-friendly, but still really fun to work with. I will link them in the description below so you can learn more. Number 4 is the Caran Graphite Line Multi-Techniques Water-Soluble Set. That is a mouthful. That is a mouthful. This was a fun kit that my husband got me for my birthday that I reviewed recently on the channel. Basically, it's a mixture of their water-soluble products in one little kit, and it's mostly graphite. We have their Graph Cube RGB, which stands for red, green, blue. These are water-soluble graphite cubes that are tinted with color. A couple of their Technolo regular water-soluble graphite, and then some of their RGB Technolo pencils as well, which again stands for red, green, blue. These have just a nice little hint of color added to them for a little pizzazz. And then we have some of their Museum Aquarel watercolor pencils, and I love those watercolor pencils. So I'm like, this is a fun mixed media set. I'm going to see what I can do. Now, I have to say, I do prefer the Derwent Graphite tinted graphite over these because they have a little bit more color. But if you're looking for something subtle, the Technolo RGB are pretty fun. And I do love them in conjunction with the watercolor pencils. I loved adding emphasis and a little pop of color, and I had such a great time with this. I'm really excited to work with these materials together later on, and I might mix some of my other materials that I have on hand to see what other combinations I can come up with. Number 5 is the Magello Mission Gold Pure Pigment Set. This was another gift from my husband a few years ago. It's taken me a while to work through my review pile. This is a beautiful set of watercolors. It makes me think of a box of chocolates. I love the black and gold branding, and honestly, this is one of those companies that they really hit the mark, not just on their branding, but also on the product itself, because sometimes companies spend a little too much on branding and then the product is kind of crap. That's not the case here. As indicated by the name of the set, each of these only has one pigment in them, which means you're going to have purer mixes when you're mixing your colors and just more pure, vibrant pigment to begin with. And these are really beautiful and vibrant. I had a fantastic time with them. I'm looking forward to using them in the future. And I think that they're a fairly good bargain too, really, considering what you're getting for the price. Really not too bad. Number 6 is the JusArt acrylic brush markers. Now, this is not something that I use very often on the channel, but I got these mainly to play around in the sketchbook with, and I use them all the time in my sketchbook. That's why the cover is so messy. You can see where I've wiped pens off on there. These are not very expensive, and I don't have the largest set, but it's a pretty good variety. The thing that I like about these ones is you can see on the side how full the barrel still is, so you can see how much acrylic ink is still left, and they have a really nice brush tip on the end. I have had no issues with this brush tip. I think that they've held up really well. I've had these for quite a while. I like to use them in combination with other supplies in my sketchbook. The only thing about this set that I wish they had was a better brown, but other than that, I think they're really, really good. And there are no light fast ratings, so I just use them in my sketchbook, but they have great coverage. They're nice and opaque, and they flow really, really well, as you can see here on this fun little heart. It does not take much to blend things out and to get some good coverage. This is a sketchbook piece that I did, or a sketchbook spread that I did with them in combination with my Pitt Artist pens, because I like to use my water-based pens for shading. So much fun. The next one is the white gel pens. Now, I didn't say the brand of these because the brand of these that I got them from is not available on Amazon anymore. But these are like a white labeled gel pen. And again, these are fantastic because the whole barrel is full of ink and they flow really, really well. I'm pretty sure the brand that sells them right now is Boo Tiger, but I think there's a few other brands as well because they're really, like I said, they're just like a white label gel pen, but they are fantastic. I have not noticed any skipping. They don't run out. The nib doesn't like dry up and make it crusty and hard to use. I have not had any issues like I have with my Uniball Signos drying out. They're fantastic over watercolors and acrylic markers. My friend Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, influenced me to get these, and I'm glad she did because they're great. Number 8 is the Meeden watercolor paper. I had a fantastic time recently reviewing this watercolor paper on the channel. They sent me this lovely block that has a sampling of their rough paper, their cold press paper, and their hot press paper. And so because of that, I had to try a variety of media on this paper, and it handled everything that I threw at it. I used water-soluble crayons and regular crayons and colored pencils on the hot press, and then I used watercolors and fine liners and other inks on the cold press. And then for the rough, I came in with my acrylic gouache, acrylic brush markers, gel pens, and water-soluble markers on the cold press, and it all held up really well. I also used some color cards from the Color Cubes by Sarah Renee Clark as inspiration. It was a blast. Number 9 is the Ohuhu glitter markers. Again, this is not one that I have shared on the channel very much, and you can tell it's a mess. I use them all the time in my sketchbook. This is the 24 set of glitter markers. No, they're not in any sort of order right now because it's chaotic when I'm playing around with these. But these are beautiful. They do have a nice fine nib on them. It's a 0.7 millimeter nib, and the ink flow is fantastic. It's really exciting that they're not like getting dry and crusty. I don't have any issues with them other than like a stray splatter here and there. You do have to shake them. You do have to pump them. Unlike the acrylic markers I showed you before, the brush ones, you don't need to pump. These are just lovely to add accents. They're so sparkly and they write so smoothly. And again, I use them all the time. I love using them as fine liners. The black is super fun to have like a nice sparkly black outline. Oh, I love it so much. And I just like to add cute little details. Here I use them for Inktober on some of my prompts, again with my acrylic markers. Such a fun combination. And they work great on top of watercolors too. Number 10 is the Holbein watercolor pencils. I wouldn't be me if I didn't mention watercolor pencils. This is a new release this year. They are beautiful. Look at these cedar wood barrels. and the end is painted to look like it. They come pre-sharpened. They come in 50 colors. They are not available in the US just yet, but they are on their way. And as soon as they're available here, I will link them in the description below. They're trying, folks. They're trying. They're on their way. And I love these because they work really well on their own, but these are also made to match their watercolor line. And you know their watercolors are my favorite watercolors. So I also like to use them in conjunction with their regular watercolors. I like to use them with their granulating watercolors as well, and their colored pencils. So that's what you've seen me do here on the channel. Like I said, I did a review of them, but then I also came in and used them in a mixed media style with their colored pencils and watercolors for my recent apple painting. And it is one of my favorite pieces that I completed this year. I had such a fantastic time combining all of them, and the watercolor pencils worked perfectly for what I needed them for. Here's a bonus. These are the Derwent Aquatone pencils, and I hesitated even putting these in because these are discontinued now. I got really lucky. I found them at a shop. Lindsay's sister owns an art supply shop that's not really open to the public anymore, but she opened it up so that us girls could go in and shop her stash. This set was there, and I was so ecstatic about it. And of course, I am bummed because they're going to be harder to find if I use them all up. Basically, these are woodless watercolor pencils. And just as Derwent does, they put out some beautiful supplies. I really wish they'd bring these back. The thing that I love the most about them is it's pure product. So you're getting a lot more product this way by going woodless. And they work really well with their ink tints as well. I brought ink tints in. I think I also brought in some of the Derwent Drawing Chinese White to work with on top of this as well. So they work well with the other Derwent supplies. But I am bummed that they don't sell them anymore. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments below, what are your favorite supplies of 2025? I love hearing about other art supplies. And do you agree with any of my choices? Let's talk about it in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hype it if you're able. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe because we have a lot of fun here. I will see you next time. You have a fantastic day. Bye.